Guys, that's what you do.
Right now, people all over the world are asking the same question. Has World War III just started? In the past few days, the United States and Israel, they've launched major strikes on Iran. Iran has responded across the region. Airspace is shutting down. Missiles are flying. And one of the most powerful leaders in the world has just been killed. Everybody is trying to understand what's going on. Who is fighting? Why are they fighting? Why is this happening now? And how did the world get to a point where a conflict like this can even start? But this did not start this week. It didn't even start this decade. To understand what's going on properly now, we need to go back more than 40 years to a revolution that completely changed Iran, reshaped the Middle East, and created a system that was built around one man. And that man was Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. Let's go back. More than 40 years ago, Iran was not ruled by religious leaders. It was ruled by a king called the Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. Iran at that time, it looked different. It was modern on the outside. Big cities growing, Western music, fashion, culture, all of that. The Shah was very close friends with the United States and Europe, and he wanted Iran to look like a Western country. But many people inside Iran were unhappy. The Shah had almost complete power. People who spoke against the government could be imprisoned. A secret police force watched critics closely. Many Iranians felt afraid to speak freely. At the same time, life was not improving for everybody. Some people were becoming richer, but many others felt ignored. Religious groups felt like Iran was losing its identity, while students and workers wanted more freedom and fairness. Different groups were angry for different reasons. But slowly, they all started listening to the same man. This was a religious leader who had been forced to leave the country years earlier. His name was Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. Years before the revolution, Khomeini had already spoken out against the Shah. In the early 1960s, the Shah introduced reforms meant to modernize Iran. Women gained the right to vote, religious courts lost power, land reforms were introduced, ties with the United States became stronger. Some people supported these changes, but Khomeini strongly opposed them. He believed that the Shah was weakening Islam. He believed that the Shah was giving too much power to foreign countries, especially America. In 1964, Khomeini was arrested and forced into exile. First, he was sent to Turkey, then later he moved to Iraq, where he lived for many years in the city of Najaf. Even from exile, he continued speaking. His speeches were recorded on cassette tapes and secretly brought back into Iran. People listened in homes, in mosques, in universities. Slowly, his voice became the voice of resistance. By the late 1970s, protests against the Shah were growing bigger and bigger. Millions of people filled the streets, strikes shut down businesses and oil production. The government struggled to function at this point. Security forces opened fire on demonstrators. Many people were killed. Instead of stopping the protests, that violence, it made more people angrier. The Shah was also very sick at that time. He had cancer, although many Iranians did not know that publicly. His leadership became uncertain and weak. Under immense pressure, the Shah left Iran on January 16, 1979. Officially, he said he was going on vacation, but in reality, he never returned. When he left, it created a power vacuum. 2 weeks later, Khomeini came back. Millions welcomed him. Within weeks, the monarchy collapsed, the army declared neutrality, and the old system of rule came to an end. In March of 1979, a national vote was held. People were asked one simple question. Should Iran become an Islamic republic? The official result said over 98% voted yes. And just like that, Iran changed. Later that same year, the United States allowed the exiled Shah to enter America for medical treatment. Many Iranians believed that America was protecting him and that they might try to restore him to power. Revolutionary students stormed the US embassy in Tehran and they took American diplomats hostage. They demanded that the Shah should be returned to Iran to face trial. That crisis lasted 444 days. And the relations between Iran and the United States, it never recovered after that. Iran was no longer ruled by a king, but it was not a normal democracy either. At the top of the new system was a position called the Supreme Leader. The role combined religious authority and political power. The Supreme Leader controls the military, appoints top judges, influences media. He has the final say in major decisions. A powerful force called the Revolutionary Guard was created to protect the revolution, and they answered directly to the Supreme Leader. Over the years, presidents came and left. Iran held elections. Different men became president. Some were seen as conservative, others were seen as moderate. Many came and left. But through all of that, one thing did not change. The Supreme Leader remained. Presidents handled the daily running of the country. They dealt with budgets, ministries, speeches, international meetings. But when it came to major decisions, the military, the courts, foreign policy, the direction of the country, the final word belonged to the supreme leader. So for the next 10 years, the leader was Khomeini. Under his rule, religious laws expanded, Western influence reduced, critics were arrested, many opponents fled the country. Supporters said that he was protecting Iran's independence. Critics said freedoms had become so limited. In 1989, Khomeini died. He had chosen a successor years earlier. His successor was supposed to be Ayatollah Hossein Ali Montazeri, but Montazeri criticized mass executions carried out against political prisoners, and he was removed before Khomeini's death. The Assembly of Experts selected Ali Khamenei instead. At the time, he was serving as president and he did not hold the highest religious rank normally required, so they had to amend the constitution to allow him to become supreme leader. In 1989, Ali Khamenei became Iran's second supreme leader. Many expected him to be temporary at that point, but he remained in power for more than 3 decades. He strengthened ties with the Revolutionary Guard. He placed loyal figures across the military, the courts, and the media. Sanctions placed heavy pressure on Iran's economy. Prices rose, jobs became harder to find, public frustration grew. Between 2017 and 2019, protests spread across Iran over economic hardship and fuel prices. Security forces responded with deadly force. In 2022, protests erupted again after the death of Mahsa Amini. She was a 22-year-old woman that was arrested by morality police for not wearing her headscarf properly. She died shortly after detention. Many Iranians believe that she had been beaten to death. Her death sparked nationwide demonstrations. Women removed their headscarves in public. Students and workers joined the protests. Some protesters were arrested, some were executed. Many people died. At the same time, tensions with Israel and the United States were increasing. Groups backed by Iran were involved in attacks against Israeli interests. Israel carried out operations against Iranian targets as well outside its borders. Israel has already warned for years. It has always said it will never allow Iran to develop a nuclear weapon. Israeli and American forces, they said that they had intelligence that Iran was preparing future attacks and that they were strengthening their missile and nuclear programs. They said that if they waited for too long, it would make the threat harder to stop. So Israel decided to strike first. With support from the United States, airstrikes hit targets inside Iran this time. During those strikes, Iran's supreme leader was killed. Iran responded by targeting American military bases across the Middle East. Many of those bases are located in other countries. So missiles and drones were launched towards US bases in Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Jordan. A drone even hit a British airbase in Cyprus. This time, the fighting was open and direct, not in the shadows. The death of Iran's supreme leader did not mean that the system collapsed. A temporary leadership group took control while senior clerics prepared to choose a new leader. Military operations continued and government institutions remained active. Iran now faces uncertainty as tensions across the region remain high. What is clear is this: the events that we're watching unfold today, they did not appear overnight. They are a result of decades of unfinished conflict stretching all the way back to the Iranian Revolution more than 40 years ago. And whatever happens next in this conflict, it will shape that region and probably the whole world for many years to come. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoy stories like this, please don't forget to follow me. I tell these stories all the time. Also, big shout out to Velo Remit for sponsoring this video. Thank you.